for you guys. It's Mary
and Amma. We invite you to like, subscribe,
share,
and comment
down below.
So we are now on
Love
season
is Blind.
3, Love is Blind, episode 6. So let's start. Nancy
it's all about meeting the parents.
Yes, Nancy is so excited. She has the guest list for the wedding. She's
Why
trying
are
to get
you
that
doing
together? Whereas Baptiste is there saying the real world is not a fairy tale.
I just don't get why she's doing that after he just basically insulted you. Talked about how he is lusting over another woman.
Yeah.
I would not be telling nobody shit.
No.
No.
So anyhow, she takes him to meet her family. Her parents are not together. So she goes to see the father, and the brothers pull him out, to talk to him. And one of the brothers says, look.
What he said was nothing special. And that he really,
when you talk to,
she makes me feel good. We have a good connection. He said, "Well, anybody could tell her that because she's a phenomenal person. She'll bring that out of anybody."
Yeah.
Which, like I said, Baptiste is not into her.
He said, when you talk about her, you seem very bland.
He said, "Well, I haven't said yes yet to her." That's how you feel about someone that you say you love, and that's how you feel about a fiance.
Yeah.
I'm scared for you, Nancy. Scared. I'm real scared. Okay. Shaking in my boots.
And then the mom was talking to Baptiste and just talked about how their family, they don't believe in death.
Which I think is phenomenal.
Which is really
and he's like, well, I don't mind just chilling in it.
Yeah.
Just coasting in it.
Like he has student debts, whatever.
But that's how the Hispanics are, though. They really deal with nothing but cash. They don't have debts. They try to be as free as possible. Yeah. And they really work together as a family to make sure that anything that they do is like for the family that is beneficial. Yeah. You see how Nancy has several properties. She's trying to make sure that she's straight.
And I saw him. Go ahead. If we notice the same thing.
We noticed that the men ain't got their shit together. But the women do.
Well, what Baptiste, he tries to say that he does.
SK doesn't have nothing. Together. He is a student and he's getting...
But I wanted to say this about Baptiste now that we're still on Baptiste. I wanted to say that when Nancy was talking about, you will have, like, my man will have half of everything that I own.
Bad move.
Yeah, but he seemed to be interested in
He is not Hispanic, Nancy.
But first, in the beginning, he was trying to be like, she seems as though her ex is involved in a lot of things and stuff like that.
Well, I feel like that's how they do.
He's just looking for a way to dump her.
I feel like that's how the Hispanics are, though, because they try to keep everything in the family. Like, even if the woman makes more money, the husband will work several different jobs.
I guess maybe they're more family friends.
They're more family-oriented.
Yeah, and it's like, okay, he was my husband. He's going to do right by me and stuff like that.
But, girl, you're looking at Baptiste, somebody who will milk you dry, and then he'll leave you with nothing.
He will take that money and go get the woman that he really wants.
Like a raven. So I would not do that. I would not be saying my money is your money. None of that shit. Let him go be a man with the cojones he does have left, and let him go make some money. Yeah. Let him go get himself some business.
So he will stand on your back.
Stand on your
neck.
Get
everything that he needs to get.
And then he'll toss you to the side.
And go find himself a raven or somebody.
And I just didn't know why she was doing that, because he's already shown you that he's not into you, that he doesn't love you. Like, he's already making you feel insecure, calling a woman a smoke show. Like, if a man even parted his lips to tell me that another woman is a smoke show, it will be over so quick. He will blink and my ass will be out the door.
She is giving me desperation vibes, and I hate to say that about an older woman, but she's giving me desperation vibes. And then
my money is your money. We're going to have properties together. We're going to buy a house together. And you see, your ex is still on the properties, but I mean, she can trust him. You cannot trust Baptiste. And I would not trust him as far as I can throw him. And I cannot throw his big ass far. So I just feel like she should not be doing that. I just feel like it's a bad. Nancy, get out. Get out, sis.
Yeah. But let's go ahead and talk about SK.
How are you here trying to get married when you're going for your... You know what I've noticed? Because we know... there was a friend that I knew, a distant friend in college. She married somebody.
Many people like this.
Yes,
they go and they get married, and they have been Africans.
They have all the degrees, but no job.
I had a friend of mine. When she met her husband, he had just finished Okay, I don't want to say because then she will know I'm talking about her. But anyway, he had just let me tell you something. He had just finished. If I tell you what he did, you just be like, what? And so she just knew her future was set. She just knew the future was set. Mm-hmm. And then she tells me, she says, let me tell you something, Amma. That was, I said, wow. I said, so you guys, I mean, you must be doing very well and blah, blah, blah. And I said, how long have you all been together? And she says, you know, we've been together for almost 30 years. And I was like, oh, wow. And she's like, he has not one day worked for that degree he got. Yeah, he was African. And let me tell you, she was like, and he is not the only one. I was shocked. That was my first peep into this phenomenon. And she says he is there driving a cab. He's a taxi driver. And he has many friends who have done the same thing and decided they don't want to do this no more. They don't even work one day of it in their life, and they are all taxi drivers there. They go meet there, enjoy themselves, then go to the gym, hang around, and then they come home late at night, sometimes even 2 o'clock in the morning, doing taxi stuff. So as soon as SK was like, he off to Berkeley
to be there full time.
This was me. Why the hell are you on Love Is Blind?
Because he needs a sugar mama to supply him money
you are
while
on
he
your
gets a
way
degree.
To Berkeley. He says that his lease is up in September.
Cole's lease is also up. Conveniently.
So Raven says, look, I'm going to keep my house. And she says, I don't want my quality of life to
go
suffer.
down because you in college.
Yeah. And then she says,
how did you not have this conversation in the pods, Raven?
She said,
I'm confused.
My hair cost $500.
I have a personal trainer.
And she says, and the other thing, and she has a list of a bunch of things that she does. And she says, she expects him though. You can be in Berkeley all day long, but I expect you to pay for half of my rent. So all the suave stuff that that man was doing, it went out the window really quick. In fact, his eyes open wide.
We need to compromise. We need to compromise.
I don't think that's fair. We need to compromise.
You ain't got no job. Your ass is off to college, and you talking to me about compromise? I need to compromise, so I have to be a human sacrifice while you go get some degree that you probably won't even use. Because I'm telling you, I have known some Africans, and they got all the degrees but no job. And then also they in the culture sometimes where the woman will be providing, she'll be cooking and cleaning, but they want the woman to submit to them, even though he's not doing the manly stuff. That's part of the African culture. I'm sorry to say.
It's not part of the African culture.
Well, I'll just say that's what happens. But 50% of the time.
No, it's not 50% of the time. But these people exist, okay? They exist, and you've got to know this.
But she doesn't know the culture.
I was not impressed.
She wanted an African man.
It looked like she wanted a Nigerian man because she said she had Nigerian friends.
Well, she doesn't know the culture. And how don't you know the culture?
She has learned from them or whatever.
How do you not have a conversation about finances in the pod? Y'all are talking for how many days?
It's not the African culture for the man to be sitting on his behind.
Well, yeah, that's not.
Let the woman work.
That's not.
Okay? You're going to school. You still need to provide.
Yeah.
And
I mean, the men know here they know you have to provide for a woman.
And I'm happy that she said, look, you can go to Berkeley. That's great. Mm-hmm. He's talking about, I have just enough for, I have savings for myself.
This will end badly.
He was hoping that, because I think what maybe they count on is that they know they're going to be in this is a very good school, Berkeley. She even said so. So the woman thinks, oh wow, they're going for law or whatever. So they're thinking to themselves, I can invest in this man for the next 3-4 years.
Already become an Uber driver.
I will make sure that he is whatever, this and that. So he's there in the dorm, so he got a little bit of freedom from you. When he come home, you're there for him. And every time he need a little something for a snackadoo or whatever, or some bill, you're willing to help him because your hope is when he get all that, when he get the degree, he going down be there for you.
Oh no.
A lot of times what happens now that he got the money and the degree, he may go find somebody else, not you. You know, so it's a risk. Now, I did know another African woman who met a man, okay? And when she met him, he was he had just come to the country, this and that, right? So she went ahead. He told her about his dreams and stuff. The way they even met, she had an ex-boyfriend who was trying to break into her house. Okay, she was African, he was African, but she had this American boyfriend who was trying to break into her house one day because he just wanted her. He was upset that she broke up with him, whatever. And there are times when he was very violent verbally. So she was like, before he go, like physical, it's over. So this her neighbor was another African, and he had a friend who was coming, from California to be with him and kind of show him the ropes around here in Maryland. Mm-hmm. So anyway, they invited her to a party. Mm-hmm. So they intervened one time with a guy, with the ex-boyfriend. Anyway, so she goes to the party, she meets this guy. He has just come. He don't really have his papers like that. Mm-hmm. But they talk during the party. He has all these dreams and all these plans, And so... and back home, he was doing some kind of health care. So she was a nurse, worked at the hospital. And so she's like, why don't you come and let's see what you can do. Long story short, he became like a radiology assistant, then went to radiology school, became a radiologist. So by this time she has married him. She just told him, she said, something, I'll go ahead and marry you. I got my papers. I'll go ahead and marry you so your life can be a little bit easier. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I just got this awful relationship. I'm not really looking for anything. Yeah. But at least I can help you out. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, so he was like, oh, okay. But as time went on, they became intimate, whatever. But she was thinking in her mind, we're just going to be friends. You know what I'm saying? But we'll just hook up here and there, So, anyway, he finishes radiology. And then he decided he wanted to go to medical school. So the man goes to medical school, becomes a doctor, actually becomes a cardiologist. So she's with him this whole time. By this time now, they've been married all this time. By this time now, he's like, I actually really like you. I don't want us just hooking up, whatever. So this is before he goes to medical school. Like, I want this serious, I want to have children, whatever. So she ends up having 3 kids for him. Mm-hmm. Anyhow, he becomes a doctor, and then now he becomes this really top doctor in one of the top hospitals and he still is, by the way. So while he was a doctor, here goes this intern who happens to be this American woman decides to make a play for her hubby. Okay? Yeah. The husband was like, but he has a picture of her in his office. Right. And he's like, she saw his children. She starts buying things for the kids. So he'll come on and say, oh, this intern, she's so nice. Gave me the stuff. So she ended up, the wife actually, and the guy was trying to be nice. He's one of these nice guys, I'm just going to be nice to this person. But she was like, this is a little bit odd. It's suspect, okay? Yeah. Now, the woman happened to be Caucasian, okay? So, anyway, the guy's secretary, who also was Caucasian, calls his wife one day and was like, look, I don't know what's going on, but this intern continues to come over here. Today she came over with a picnic basket and wants to have a picnic. I saw she went in, she didn't come out. So I guess because he's very busy today. But I wouldn't trust her. So she's like, so she was like, well, what? I mean, does she want my husband? What's going on? Because it seems like they're just friends. They're just friends. He's just an intern. He's like her mentor. She's like, well, I don't know what mentorship. We don't have mentorship programs here. So the secretary was all in the business. She was just like, he's a nice guy, but I will say you have to really warn him so he doesn't get any problems.
Yeah.
So the next thing you know, they wrote a letter. She wrote a letter to this woman, and then the secretary forwarded it to like the heads of the department, some of the doctors, her person who she's supposed to work under. And the woman pretty much said, look, if it's just, it was terrible. If it's just a D that you want, you can go find that anywhere. You can maybe go to jail and find that. But you are not to have my husband. I have been with this man for how long? Do you even know our story? And I've been with him for how long? And here you is, and you want to take my man? You done lost your damn mind. And he's a nice person. But I'm not going to be that nice. She went ahead and she took this whole thing before we could blink. That woman she was not even in that building no more. She was doing whatever medicine she was doing. She was doing it in another building. And that was the end of that. Because the guy was so nice, He didn't, he was just thinking she was a nice person.
You sure he wasn't dipping his weenie in the intern?
No, he wasn't. I met this guy. He's one of those guys. Actually, I had a friend like him. He's one of those guys, your mind is always like in your book.
Yeah.
Someone has to literally take off their clothes and say, like, I am ready to go, for them to understand that, why are you doing this? He was one of those guys. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, yeah, he just thought, oh, this is a friend, And anytime he'll say, why don't you come meet my wife, She'll always find a way not to come to the house, But she was just thinking, oh, this is a mentor. Until that secretary called and says, he is a nice guy, but I think he might be being taken advantage of. And then the fact that he was kind of like she's his subordinate.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, but I don't know. I don't even know what brought this conversation. Oh, we were talking about African men. But yeah, so I wanted to give another story of how this woman, she rocked with this guy.
Yeah.
And he ended up fulfilling, because what he felt for her was, she did this, she did not even know me from Adam.
Yeah.
And she married me. And she didn't really expect anything.
Yeah.
And so he felt when he talked to, felt very obligated to her. Mm-hmm. But also he just loved her selflessness.
Yeah.
Just loved her selflessness of who she was. So, beautiful story. But I don't know if that's going to happen with SK and Raven. Because Raven, she is not about to work for you, SK. Like she said, pay half her rent wherever she is, since you're going to be married to her. And you got to pay for at least half of where she lives.
And she thought
what
her life
about that? I think that's reasonable, because
she was expected to get married and have her quality of life go up
and not have her husband provide for her.
Yeah.
So I don't know why he's talking about a compromise. You should still be providing for her.
But this is why I tell women, you need to actually make an educated decision before you marry anybody. Like, girl, how did you not have this conversation in the pause? What the fuck? What were y'all talking about in the pause for 10 days? You don't talk finances?
Well, he did tell her.
That should be like the second thing you talk about.
She should have said something to him, because he did tell her that he was going to Berkeley. She should have said, what are you going to do for money when you go to Berkeley? That should have been the question. She failed to ask that question. And now you got the man all discombobulated.
Well, he got himself discombobulated. You're an African man. You know damn well you need to be provided for a woman. And you take your dusty ass onto Love is Blind. Because you knew damn well if you were in Africa, you would have to provide a dowry. You would have to provide a life, a home, and all this stuff. But you said, let me go to an American woman, see if she's desperate enough to take me on to be my sugar mama. That's what happened there. Because you know, if you were in Africa, they have standards for the men. And you know what you have to do.
If he had heard the voice, and he had heard an African woman's voice on the other side of the pond,
he would shake them real quick. To this time, he would not even gone there.
Yeah, no, well, yes. As soon as he heard an African woman's on the other side, he would have told her,
thank you, next.
Thank you. Next. Just like how Bilal did with Shida getting a foreigner.
Yeah.
Thinking you can play your little games because you think they don't know. Mm-hmm. And that's what this one was trying to do. I'm going to get myself an American woman.
Yeah.
As long as she American.
Yeah.
And she ain't African.
Exactly.
And that's what I'm going to do. But
was that everything?
Yeah.
But no, hold on, wait. So Cole, he met with Zainab's parents or whatever, stuff like that.
Cole's parent don't want to meet Zainab. It's always a red flag for me when the parents don't want to meet. And Raven's parents also too don't want to meet.
Red flag, red flag.
Yeah.
Because family is very important.
Family is very important. But yeah, Raven's family don't want to meet.
I don't think Nancy met. Did Nancy meet was it? What did they talk about the abortion here?
No, I don't. I think that might be 7. I think that might be 7.
You guys remember she met
She did not meet. She has not met.
Not in this episode.
No, I don't think so. Let's really talk about it. And if we see the next one, we'll bring it up.
Yeah.
But Alexa, she says she wants to be a stay-at-home mom.
Yeah.
She says she wants a prenup. And Brendan was like, "You write it up, I'll sign it."
Yeah.
You know, have no problem with that. He wants to be a coach for kids. You know,
so
all
he wants to be a stay-at-home
someone
dad.
To love. You know, he wants to be a coach for kids. So that's a coach. I mean,
you're not making enough money to provide.
So, but he says that all he wants is for her to love him. But
also provide for your living. Red flag.
Well, he went to see Alexa's family, and the family got a really nice home over there.
He said he grew up with no AC and no heat.
Right, he was telling Daddy that he said he's had to work for everything he got. He's been working since he was 14 years old. I mean, I'm sure now he has. He said he got heat and AC. But my question is, even if he has no heat, no AC, my question is still is,
what's your question?
Okay, you're hitting me with your leg.
You were doing this to me.
My question is, you may have heat or AC.
Yeah.
But I wonder if that's all you have. Do you have savings, bro?
No.
Are you able to take care of a wife, bro? So I just wonder about those things. But we'll see as time goes on. We will see.
Yeah, buddy.
But that was all for this episode 6.
Yes. But it's Mary
and Alma.
You guys can like,
subscribe,
share,
and comment
down below.